Fast Mike's Roll-Offs make cleanup quick and easy. Call now at 402-450-6828 or visit us online at fastmikesrolloffs.com. Book your dumpster today. Fast Mike's Roll-Offs, cleanup made simple.
This just in, hot off the bench press. Planet Fitness has expanded strength equipment. Save $28 or more when you join today. We're raising the bar with these benches, and our hack squat will have you actually looking forward to leg day. Plus, we're still repping all the best-in-class equipment we've always had. There's no better time to get stronger. So join Planet Fitness today and save $28 or more. Just $1 down, $15 a month.
Find your nearest club and join today. Deal ends July 31st.
See Home Club for details.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see a chance of showers and storms, especially this afternoon. Otherwise, partly sunny skies expected with the high around 85. Tonight, a chance of showers and storms, the low around 70. And tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms likely throughout the day. An afternoon high near 81. I'm meteorologist Kyle Electric for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
When only the best will do. Sartor Heyman Jewelers.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. Visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com.
Sartor Heyman Jewelers.
On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Hey, I don't want to hate on Joe Burrow. He's clearly in this tier. I think he's the bottom of this tier. I would go Allen Jackson and then Burrow.
You should be a politician. You just convinced.
You know what I'm saying? You see what he doing?
Yeah, he didn't have
He's doing all the time. It's tricky, man.
Keep going, Jay.
No,
You're speaking my language.
Stop.
You're speaking my language. Come on.
You let him get you, Jay. I can't believe you let him get you again. God,
Every weekday from 3 to 5 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is On the Block with Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer, Jay Foreman. Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Here we go. It's the noon hour in Vegas, 2 o'clock back home in Nebraska. Austin, Jay, Nick with you, joined by another Husker delegate here at Big Ten Media Days. Upperclassman defensive back Deshaun Singleton joins us. Deshaun, welcome to the show. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How y'all doing?
Great. How's Vegas treating you?
It treat me well. You know what I'm saying?
Deshaun, man, it's your senior year, man. But before we get into it, man, I gotta give it to you. You brothers clean as a whistle,
man. Appreciate it, bro. Shout out Gary Michael, man.
Yeah,
Shout out
man,
Gary.
he got you guys right, man.
Yeah.
So now the standard is set, man. From here on out, when you get older like me, gray hairs, you gotta always dress up like that, man. But I asked Marquise, and I'm gonna ask you, what your journey has been great, man, and earn a lot of respect from obviously your teammates and obviously alumnus. Talk about it being your senior year, what it means to you, but how you got in here and how you're going to use this year to leave a legacy.
It's been nothing but a blessing having that extra year to come back and play for the team that I love and that I fight for each and every day. Knowing that where I come from back home in Louisiana is everything I do is really, I'm doing it for the first time. So I ain't had nobody to lead me and set the example for me, because like I said, I'm the oldest brother. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just I trial and error all the time, and knowing that, so when I carry that with me, and when I go through anything, I always look back and say, you've been through a whole lot worse. And
right.
I come through fighting every day, dedicated, motivated. You know what I'm saying? I get myself up out the morning by the grace of God, but just getting up every day and working and having an opportunity to go play football, it ain't nothing but a blessing.
Right. And to expand on that is that there's a lot of young players coming in. Now, everybody's been a young player, at one point in time where you kind of don't look forward to the challenges ahead. Now you've met him. Now you know what to expect. How are you going to use that to lead these young guys in so you guys can have a great season?
The young guys, they look up to me a lot because they see me as a bigger brother than them. I've been through the trial and error of college football, and knowing that I can relate to a lot of guys, they listen, and when they listen, they learn from you, and they try to. You take them under your wing, and you teach them a lot. You teach them football, you teach them life, and that ain't nothing for an opportunity, a blessing. And it's a blessing that I could bless others. You know what I'm saying? And I take pride in that.
Deshaun, obviously you're a guy that started his career at JUCO, right?
Correct.
And so then obviously made the transition to Nebraska. What kind of advice are you able to give guys, whether they transfer in from another Power 5 school or somebody like yourself that's from a junior college? What kind of advice are you able to give them now that you're a couple years removed from, and now you've been here for a couple of seasons?
It was one thing I learned in JUCO my first year there. A buddy of mine, he told me to kiss the wave, and that just basically means through any trial, through any tribulation, just you got to be happy in the storm. You got to be happy to persevere through what you have and be persistent, man. You got to wake up every day and knowing you are the man you say you are, and that'll do nothing but motivate you every day to get up every day to do the same thing over and over again. And that's all you got to do. So just be persistent, be patient, kiss the wave, man.
Who are some of those young guys in that defensive back room that have impressed you here over the winter and spring ball into summer?
Kamir Prescott, I say he made a big jump. Caleb Billy made a jump. Jeremiah Charles made a jump.
Dude can jump. Put that on display at the dunk contest a couple times now.
I mean, he got it all on display online. So, but yeah, Jeremiah Charles. Man, it's a lot of couple young guys that I really, really like, and I really, really see a great future for them. So.
Deshaun, I wanted to ask you about what it's like. I was fortunate enough to, play, start 4 years and play with the guys for 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about the experience of being able to look over and you see Malcolm, and then obviously you got Marquise, and how big a role all three of you guys are going to play throughout the how this season goes. But the peace that it gives you because you can depend on each other.
I mean, we've been playing with each other for a long time, so we have a lot of chemistry with each other, and those are really my brothers for real. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people say it, but I really mean that. Like, those are my brothers. Like, I make fun of Malk all the time. I hate everything he do, but but that's really my brother. And like, iron sharpens iron. They gonna get on my butt When I'm doing something lazy, I'm going on their boat when they do something lazy. So it's really the chemistry and the chemistry that we've been playing together so long. We want nothing but the best for each other.
Right.
We all want to be great. And that's what I'm saying. Iron Cyber's on.
Right. And with this off season, obviously you guys being the senior elder statesman, and you have a young defense with obviously Ty and those guys going back. You got guys that played a little bit. Talk about how big your summer has been as a defense and what to expect, or what do you guys expect coming through, 2 days into the season?
It's been real big, but I tell those guys all the time, bro, just take it one day at a time, man. Come in and work every day, work your tail off every day, because you gonna reap the benefits of whatever's gonna come. And just know when you get on that field, just know you put the work in,
right?
And you gotta be fearless. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be fearless on the field, especially being a black shirt,
right?
So just know that you put the work in and just roll over everything and come in front of you.
Right. I asked Marquise this too, and I know what it's like when you get, I call it tangible victories, when it means you get something at the end. Like obviously you guys made a bowl game. Talk about how big that was for not only yourself, but then obviously the program, not only to make a bowl game, but to win it.
Winning the bowl game, I felt like it put life in the city, man.
Right.
Because it's been a long time since we ain't won a bowl game. I feel like that put life in the city. That gave us momentum into the season, into the off season. You know what I'm saying? Knowing what we can accomplish, because we've done something and no one has it done in a long time. And knowing that we set goals for ourselves and knowing that those can be accomplished and it's attainable. So that's what really that bowl game win really helped us with.
So obviously, I mean, you just said goals, expectations. I don't care. I don't like about the word expectation. I like goals more also. Are you more of a not short-sighted necessarily, but like, all right, let's in the first 4 weeks of the season, let's try to attack this goal and then kind of segment it off? Or are you big picture, this is what we want to accomplish at the end of the season? What are some conversations you guys have had?
I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and not think that I don't think about winning the championship.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
You do all that hard work, you better.
That's
right?
what I'm saying. So I do all this work, but everybody you want to win a championship.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I want to win a championship, but I know this how you get it. You got to go each and every day, take one day at a time, put that work in. Start molding yourself into the man. You feel me? You gotta put that work in. You gotta put that fire in the furnace. You know what I'm saying? You gotta do that and just take one day at a time. Because in the Big Ten conference, bro, you could lose any game.
Is that less? Maybe I should say it this way. Is that more hearing that from the coaches maybe when they first got here, and then it transitioning to you guys? So now that you're the elder statesman, like, is that now you guys like kind of getting on other dudes?
Oh yeah. It's a player led team now, man. We done shifted more to a player led team, so it's like. The guys, they're really getting it from us.
Yeah.
Now, you know what I'm saying? Coach Rule still got his hand in the pot. You know what I'm saying? He's still mixing. But, he really took it upon the older guys to lead the younger guys now. Because we know what he wants. We've been in this program for a minute now. And we want the same thing he wants. You know what I'm saying?
So then let me ask you this. What's it going to take? Like as somebody that's in that room, obviously you guys have made strides, and like Jay just talked about the tangible things that we like fans can look at, right? But you see it from a whole nother perspective. What are some of those things?
Man, sacrifice. That's what it's gonna take. You gotta take sacrifice. Whether that's doing extra film work, whether that's getting the extra meal in to reach your body weight goal, it takes sacrifice, man. You know what I'm saying? If you want what you want to go get, you gotta sacrifice something. You know what I'm saying? And that could be your body, that could be your mind. You know what I'm saying? It's just like you just got to learn new things every day and just sacrifice, man.
And that's probably something you learn through experience, right? You can tell the young guys that, but they probably have to see you do and experience what sacrifice looks like for themselves, right?
Correct. It's like, yeah.
Last one before we get you out of here, because I know you got a busy schedule here. But walk us through what it's been like today. Like, what are some things that you guys have had to do as we get you out of here? What's on the docket? Like, what's today been like? It's Vegas.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, bro. It's been fast, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't know how long this day was gonna go till I got here, ate my breakfast. You know what I'm saying? Went to my first interview. This has been nonstop now. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't even know what I'm in. I'm just rolling right now. I'm rolling.
That's where it goes. That's the season right there in a nutshell, man. Well, we appreciate you coming on, Deshaun. I know you're going to do great things. I know it's more intimate, but I'm proud of you, man. It's a big year, and I know, now it's like you got to hold yourself back because of 2 days, or training camp. Once you get through training camp, then it's lights, camera, action. That's when you're going to do your thing. So we wish you all the luck.
Man, appreciate you, man.
There it is. Got to go to break. We can go ahead and pull the plug here. We'll take an early break. here in the Noon Clock Hour. Let's have a little Tony Petitti action when we come back. Tony Petitti's comments from the podium here at Big Ten Media Day said a lot of really fascinating things. You'll hear the whole conversation.
Yes, the guys are indeed out live at Mandalay Bay as they get prepared for the next part of their day. But we were able to record earlier Big Ten Commissioner Tony Petitti at the podium. So we're going to go ahead and play that now as we await Matt Rule and some others getting to the podium here a little bit later. But we will play Tony Petitti. This is live from the podium earlier today.
Forward to hearing from him, obviously, with all the change that has happened and is going to happen. I'm excited to hear his opinion and thoughts about the potential.
Thank you, Sat. Good morning and welcome to the 2025 Discover Big Ten Football Media Days. Next week, our teams open training camp. In just 37 days from today, Rutgers, Minnesota, Nebraska, and Wisconsin will kick off their seasons and the first full weekend of a 2026 college football season. Among the 18 head coaches you'll hear from over the next 3 days, I want to especially welcome new Purdue coach Barry Odom to the conference. Thank you to our host, the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority. This is the Big Ten Conference's debut in the city that will host our 2027 women's and 2028 men's basketball tournaments. This year, we're excited to announce new and expanded partnerships and platforms to strengthen our conference and deepen the impact of our corporate partners. These relationships reflect our shared commitment to innovation, fan engagement, and delivering value to our student athletes and schools. This fall will be the second year of the We Give Blood Drive in partnership with Abbott, attacking the worst blood shortage in a generation. Last year, more than 20,000 Big Ten fans donated blood and saved more than 60,000 lives. And the University of Nebraska won a $1 million prize to support student health initiatives. This year, we'll be kicking off the competition on August 27, with the winner announced December 6th at the 2025 Discover Big Ten Football Championship game in Indianapolis, airing on Fox. Last month, we announced a new collaboration with PayPal and Venmo that allowed our schools to securely and efficiently distribute payments to student athletes on July 1st. This year, Venmo will present a new Big Ten rivalry series that will highlight some of the most storied matchups in college sports across football and men's and women's basketball. The 2024-25 season was a remarkable one for the Big Ten, for our student athletes, our coaches, administrators, and fans. During their historic first Big Ten season, USC, UCLA, Washington, and Oregon combined for 19 conference titles, including Oregon's 2020 national championships in football, field hockey, women's volleyball, men's water polo, men's gymnastics, women's ice hockey, men's and women's indoor track and field, men's and women's wrestling, women's golf, men's outdoor track and field, and rowing. Additionally, we had 9 national runners-up, including in men's and women's lacrosse and women's gymnastics, and national semifinalists in men's soccer, women's basketball, and men's ice hockey. We also reached the baseball and softball World Series in the same season for the first time since 2019. It was an equally impactful year off the field for our members with the approval of the House settlement and the implementation of a new model for collegiate athletics. We continue to work with our colleagues in the A4 and throughout college athletics to ensure that the new model provides the intended benefits for student athletes while providing a sustainable, transparent, and fair system of competition. Our administrators and coaches have made it very clear we are committed to the new model. Now let's focus on football. The Big Ten played in 8 of the 11 college football playoff games last season, and we had both teams in the Rose Bowl quarterfinal game. On the way to their 9th national championship, Ohio State defeated the 9th, 7th, 5th, and top-seeded teams in the 12-team bracket, giving the Big Ten back-to-back titles. Last year, the 4 most viewed college football games of the season featured Big Ten teams, as did 7 of the top 10 and 12 of the top 20. Each of our 3 broadcast television partners, CBS, Fox, and NBC, had at least one Big Ten matchup with more than 9.5 million viewers. 21 of our games had more than 5 million viewers, and 40 had at least 3 million viewers. As for the 25 season, this week you will hear from our coaches and an outstanding group of players. It's clear Big Ten football has never been deeper or stronger. I know there's been a great deal of talk about the future CFP format, and I'm sure you'll have questions for me. First, I'd like to talk about the process. In the spring of 2024, the member conferences came together to negotiate a media deal with ESPN. Prior to concluding that deal, an agreement was reached that set forth revenue sharing from the college football playoff to the conferences and Notre Dame. At the time, there was a lot of discussion about future formats and the number of teams in the playoff. A specific decision on format was not reached. Instead, it was agreed that the Big Ten and SEC would control changes to the CFP format and the selection committee process after considering feedback from the membership. Like the revenue share parameters, the Big Ten and SEC's format control is set forth clearly in the agreement that all members signed. With respect to format, the Big Ten has been consistent in its strong preference for a playoff system that allocates spots based on conference standings and the results of play-in games. We want to better connect the regular season and the postseason. A critical goal of any postseason format, regardless of sport, is to keep as many teams alive as deep into the season as possible. We want more conference games to matter in November. Also, the playoff format should not function as a disincentive to schedule tough non-conference games. As we said throughout this process, we are open to considering any format ideas that come from our colleagues or the CFP staff. But to be clear, formats that increase the discretion and role of the CFP selection committee will have a difficult time gaining support from the Big Ten. I want to leave more time for questions, so thank you all for being here, especially our 18 head coaches and 54 student athletes representing their schools. And as I said, I look forward to your questions. Thank you.
At this time, we'll open the floor for questions for Commissioner Petiti. On your right, Tony.
There you go. Thank you.
Hi, Commissioner. I'm so far back you can't even see
I can
me.
barely see you past the pole there.
I'll let somebody else ask a playoff question, but I was just wondering your take on last week's issues between the CSC, the guidance they gave about collectives. When's that going to get resolved, and how urgent is it that issue gets resolved?
Yeah, I appreciate the question. I think it's worth sort of talking about the relationship and the ongoing relationship that plaintiffs' attorneys have in this process. The CSC is brand new. It's in the process of making rules. We've had an incredible group working on an implementation committee to provide guidance and help with rulemaking. Some of that has to be in a process that goes past the plaintiffs' lawyers. That's what happened in this case. I don't think it's unpredictable, but there'll be some moments like this where, whether it's guidance or interpretation of rules, there's some discrepancy. But I think, what's happened over the last few days, based on talking to our general counsel and others, that, they're working together to try to get to the right resolution on this and then to move forward. I don't think it'll be the last time that there's some issue that comes up in the process. Again, I think people have to be patient when it comes to CSC. The settlement, frankly, came later than we expected in terms of its approval. We're grateful that Judge Wilkin chose to approve it, but it did, compress the time period. So there's a lot to catch up on, and there's a lot for, coaches and administrators to deal with. But, I don't think it's unusual when you have something this different that, there's going to be some bumps in the road to get to the right place. But I think everybody's committed to get there.
On your left, Tony.
Doug Maurice from Kings of the North. Is it a must in your mind that the power conferences play the same number of conference games? And if the SEC won't go to 9, would the Big Ten ever consider going back to 8?
Yeah. So first, it's not a must. Each league will decide what they think the best conference schedule is for them. I think in a system where you have allocated spots, I think in talking to our athletics directors and coaches, I don't think we really care how many conference games any league is playing, because you're qualified off your conference standings. That's sort of up to you to run your own league and decide how you want to do it. But when you get to a system that's increasing the at-larges and increasing the work of a selection committee, that's when you need to understand how we're competing in the regular season. Look, at the end of the day, it's really simple math. With 18 schools and 9 we're losing 9 more games to start. And so at the end of the day, I think it's really relevant. So will we consider, more at larges. Like right now, I think the first thing is to really understand what everybody's doing in their conference schedule. But there's a second really critical part, which I mentioned in my remarks, which is what are we doing to get the selection process right? So I think those two things go hand in hand. First is how many conference games are we playing? And then secondly, what's the selection process going to be? People have talked about improving the committee's work. I believe the committee does a great job with what they have, and I've yet to hear any member tell me that more data will make the job easier. They have a lot of things in front of them. We went through a mock selection, we saw it. And so I just think those two things have to go hand in hand. First is the conference games, but again, if you go back to an allocated system, then I don't think we really care about how many conference games anybody plays.
First row here, Tony, on your right side.
Good morning, Commissioner. AP Stidham, AP as we see it. Commissioner, have you given any guidance to your membership about the allocation of the revenue share with regards to Title IX? Most people, when you read the stories, they discuss more to the football and the men's basketball, but have you had those discussions with your membership and any guidance along those lines?
Yeah, there's been a lot of discussion. As you can imagine, the system was new. We've been working to sort of implement it for for basically more than a year at this point, since we made the agreement in principle to approve the settlement back, I guess it was last May of 24. I think consistently throughout everywhere, people are taking a market-based approach to how they allocate rev share. One thing about the way this system is built, there's no obligation to get to any number. What sports you choose to support, how you allocate the money among your student athletes, that's really a decision that's made institutionally. So in the Big Ten, what we focused on is letting our members make the decisions they think are right for their programs and right for their student athletes, and then continue to provide the benefits that we've been doing and the support for all of the teams. So really, it's an individual school decision about that. But I would tell you consistently, you're seeing more of a revenue market-based.
On your far right.
Stuart Mandel from The Athletic. Tony, when talking about CFP format, obviously you have a lot of constituents, coaches, ADs, and so on. The public, the fans, have indicated overwhelmingly they do not want a system where certain conferences get more bids than others. At what point, how much emphasis, if at all, do what the public want come into decisions like this?
Well, first, I'll take issue with the way you're phrasing that. I don't really know. I'm not aware of massive studies with real research that have demonstrated that.
It's not a scientific poll, but a poll I put on Twitter this morning, it was 76% for 5+11, 24% for the plan you guys want.
Look, I think, we feel pretty strongly that fans will really gravitate to a play-in weekend. That, providing games that are do or die on the field will drive fan interest. Whether there's enough information that fans have in any one poll about what a new system will be, I'm not aware of how it was phrased or not. I just believe, and I'm talking to our league, the weekend that we're talking about, where you'd have championship games and across all conferences, meaningful play-in games. I don't see how that's a bad thing for college football.
Okay. Good morning, Commissioner. Bob Kyrie with Reddit's College Football. You've talked about your concerns over subjectivity in an expanded playoff format like a 5+11. Do you feel there was issues with subjectivity in the committee this past season that leads you to that conclusion?
I think it's been a really hard thing to do for a long time. I mean, you going back to the BCS and deciding who the two teams are, and then going back through the 14 playoff. It hasn't been easy. And I think I'm not going to comment on the last couple of seasons, but I think there are a lot of places who think it's also teams not getting consideration. I just think there's a lot of that. So the idea that I'm not going to point to any one school, whether it's in our league or outside our league, you can go back and look at the reaction when the rankings come out and who's invited and see all that yourself. But at the end of the day, I think there's been a lot of concern about how those decisions are made. I focus on that piece. How are we differentiating from teams that don't have head-to-head play, teams that don't play common schedules across leagues that do different things? And I think that's a really hard, tall order. And the point I will make is that every time you think about expansion, I think there's some sort of counter idea that it gets easier to make these decisions. It actually gets harder. More teams look alike. More teams are going to have 9-3 records. More teams are going to struggle in a conference road game. More teams might stumble in a conference home game. And some teams play tougher non-conference schedules. At least, and there's also just the evolution of how you go through the season and how you move across. So I just think that those decisions are really difficult to make. And I know this has been the system that we've used for a really long time, but I have a hard time believing expanding it that will make these decisions easier.
We're going to take a quick break. You're listening to Tony Petey earlier live from Big Ten Media Days at the podium, but Coach Matt Rule is set to get to the podium here in just a few minutes. So we're going to take a quick break and we'll send it back out to Vegas to hear from Coach Matt Rule live next year on 93.7 The Ticket.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
A1 Automotive's second location is now open at 5110 State Hill Drive, just off of Yankee Hill Road. The new location continues to specialize in all makes and models and provides personalized service as they have for 15 years. To honor the new store opening, A1 is offering $25 off any service over $300, $50 off services over $500, and $75 off services that total over $750, all through July 31st. Schedule your appointment today at a1autolincoln.com and visit their new location in South Lincoln at 5110 State Hill Drive.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC. This month kicks off Koppel's 50th anniversary sale. We're celebrating 50 years by offering an additional $500 discount to the next 100 customers that buy a new vehicle. This is in addition to the huge savings already in place. You can take an extra $500 off our discounted price, or we can cut you a check on the spot. Celebrate with savings and see why customers have trusted Koppel since 1975. It's our way of saying thank you for all these years.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see a chance of showers and storms, especially this afternoon. Otherwise, partly sunny skies expected with the high around 85. Tonight, a chance of showers and storms, the low around 70. And tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms likely throughout the day. An afternoon high near 81. I'm meteorologist Kyle Electric for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Don't miss the 8th Annual Wing Fest on Saturday, July 26th at Haymarket Park from 5 till 8 p.m. Local restaurants will be serving wings from 5 to 7 p.m. with live music going until 8. Ice cream and beverages will also be available for purchase, and all the proceeds from the event will go to benefit students in the local community. Get your tickets today at wingfestlincoln.com and make sure you attend the 8th Annual Wing Fest at Haymarket Park on July 26th.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Summertime is here, and you know what that means. Grilling season. You know what's more embarrassing than an overcooked piece of meat? Your dirty, disgusting, and grimy grill. Let the pros at Husker Grill Cleaning get you ready for grilling season. They'll take your grill apart piece by piece, scrub every inch, and reassemble it so it can look and perform its best. Visit their website, huskergrillcleaning.com today to schedule your appointment. Husker Grill Cleaning, serving Lincoln, Omaha, Malcolm, and more.
Load up on meat and more this summer at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's specials through July 29th are 15% off cheese and crackers, grass-fed, grass-finished tri-tips for $10.99, 820 ground beef trays for $6.99, and brisket flats for $9.99. Plus, stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursdays at the Mercado East or Fired Up Fridays at the Mercado North. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney and Lincoln, or 168th and Maple and Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
This just in, hot off the bench press. Planet Fitness has expanded strength equipment.
Save $28 or more when you join today. We're raising the bar with these benches, and our Hack Squat will have you actually looking forward to leg day. Plus, we're still repping all the best-in-class equipment we've always had. There's no better time to get stronger. So join Planet Fitness today and save $28 or more. Just $1 down, $15 a month.
Find your nearest club and join today. Deal ends July 31st.
See Home Club for details.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
All right, welcome back in. This is On the Block. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. We got more replays from the Big Ten Media Days coming your way. If you guys want to join in, feel free. 402-464-5685. That is the Starter Heyman text line. You guys give your comments and any thoughts throughout any of these podium speeches, as well as we'll have some sidebar interviews as well. Of course, I encourage everyone, stick around to 6 o'clock. Tristan, new ticket hire, he'll join me and we'll chop it all up, everything from Big Ten Media Days down there in Las Vegas. But as promised, we'll go ahead and play for you. Here's Matt Rule's speech at the podium on Tuesday for that first one for Big Ten Media Days. So that being said, here it is, the Matt Rule at the podium at Big Ten Media Days in Las Vegas.
Appreciate the opportunity to be here. Want to thank my wife Julie for coming along with me, and excited to have a chance to visit and talk a little bit about Nebraska. Challenging times in sports. Want to thank Commissioner Petiti. You know, I've had a chance to be behind the scenes and all the work that he's doing to try to protect our game, the greatest game that there is. So very grateful to the commissioner, all the people that work at the Big Ten, AJ Eads, all the people that fight each and every day to make sure we have the best product that we can have. So grateful for them. Excited to represent the University of Nebraska. Amazing leadership from Dr. Jeff Gold, from standing on the sidelines to helping us knock down barriers to make this the program we wanted to make it. Troy Dannon, amazing leader, tremendous person to walk alongside as we do something really hard, and grateful for him. Haven Fields, Dr. Susan Elza, just grateful for all the people that are here. I like to coach football because of the players. I have so many guys I could have brought, but Deshaun Singleton, Marquise Buford, Henry Lutovsky, Dylan Raiola, just tremendous leaders, tremendous representatives of what we're trying to get done. I'll answer your questions, but I'm proud of all the things that we're doing. We're at a whole different place academically. You know, we're talking. People ask me about rev share. They'll ask me about the playoffs. This is still a place where young people can transform their lives through education, and I think we're doing that at a high level. 3.3 cumulative GPA. Proud of all the guys. 86% of our guys are over a 3.0 cum. So we're getting it done in the classroom, and now it's time for us to continue to get it done on the football field. And if I say one thing, I'll say this: we like our football team. We like our football team a lot. We believe in the guys. It's those four guys I mentioned. It's all the guys back in Lincoln. We believe that we can play with anybody, and we've had our highs and lows, our ups and downs. We've been through a lot in 2 years together, and we're going to go make a run at this thing this year. So I'm grateful to coach them. It's been probably the most fun I've had in a long time, and excited to talk about them. So with that, I'll answer any questions that you guys have.
Coach, we got a few questions on your right side, first row.
Kenneth Berry, touchdowns and tangents. Coach, after everything you said you were planning on doing with the team, especially that loaded senior class, you had all of them graduating with their degrees, and you were just happy about the kind of people that they are and the success that you've had on the team. With this year, how do you kind of reach the younger guys to let them know that it has to go further than that? And what's something that you would tell your younger self, especially after a watermark season like last year, and you're continuing build to, enhance this program?
Well, I think each and every day, it's really our players. Players talk to players more than we can. I get up in front of the team. I speak. I think they listen. I try to have tremendous relationships. Our coaches are great. The people in the building are great. But at the end of the day, the program moves forward when players are talking to players about the right things. When they take the program from Coach Rule's program to their program. And right now it's their program. we went to dinner last night with the fellas, and they were kind of joking, like, Coach, you don't have to come tomorrow. We'll handle it for you, which I almost took them up on. But you could put Dylan, you could put Henry, you could put any of them up here, and I think we would all speak the same way because we believe in what we believe. And I've taken a lot of jobs, and when you walk into a job that hasn't been winning, everyone tells you what's wrong, and they usually say, well, it's this guy, it's that guy, it's the last coach, it's this, it's that. Good organizations win because everyone owns the product. Like very rarely on a bad team, when you take over a bad team, do you hear people say, like, you know what, I got to do better. And the reason why I believe that we're about to make the jump that we're going to make is because each and every day, whether it's our administration, whether it's the people around us, no one's saying it's this person's fault, it's that person's fault. Everyone's owning the product. And so, yes, we have to win more. That's the deal. But we came into a program that, we knew was going to take a little bit of time to fix. And so I think we're close to fixed. In terms of something I would have told myself when I was younger, there's a lot of things, but I think the most important thing is don't underestimate the impact you can have on young people's lives. I'm at a point now where guys that I've coached are getting married, they're getting jobs, they're going through good things and bad things, and every once in a while you have someone say, you know what, something that I was taught from Coach Rule or one of his assistants is helping me in my life, and that might not be popular on sports talk radio, but it is how life works.
Coach, first row again.
Hey, Coach. Nick Hamilton, Nightcast Media. Wanted to ask you just about the maturation of Dylan. What have you seen from him in the offseason as he prepares for this season, and not just under center, but as one of the leaders of this team as you guys prepare for the 2025 season?
Yeah, I would not have brought Dylan if I wasn't so proud of his work. I mean, he's done a great job with his body. He's done a great job with his knowledge of the offense, his growth with Glenn Thomas, our quarterback coach, and Dana Holgerson, our OC, his command of the roster of the team. Make no mistake, it's really hard to come in as a freshman with tremendous expectations and have to go be the leader. Having to tell, you're 18 years old and you're telling 6-year seniors now with new rules, you're telling 25, 24-year-old men, hey, I need you to do this. It's so hard. So what Dylan did last year was really hard. And the thing to me, when you're a 5-star quarterback, like you probably breezed through high school, you haven't had a lot of adversity. Every time you go somewhere, people talk about how great you are. And when I recruited Dylan, I said, hey, come help me turn around Nebraska football, man. It's going to be hard. And doing something hard is how we become great. And if not, you go somewhere, you go play on the best team in the country, which is pretty cool. And every once in a while, they need you to make a throw to win the game. And then you go to the NFL and the worst team in the worst city drafts you. And now you have to deal with all this adversity. I said, come to Nebraska. It's going to be hard. There'll be adversity. You'll be frustrated sometimes, but we will eventually do something great. And what I've seen from him, his maturity is he now embraces when he's frustrated. He embraces when things aren't going well. And he's the one, going back to the ownership I talked about, instead of saying this guy's got to do better. This guy's got to do better, man. He puts it on himself. He says, I'll fix this. So I think our team is going to play for Dylan, and I love coaching the kid. Young man.
German from The Athletic. Matt, the challenge of having 3 new coordinators in permanent roles since the end of last season, how have you seen that play out through these spring and summer months, and what's your comfort level with those guys in comparison to where it was a few months ago as you start camp next week?
Yeah, well, I'm thrilled with all 3 guys. I think the great thing about Dana is he's been a head coach. He knows the challenges of being a head coach. He has the loyal. I always feel like when guys have been a head coach and they go back to being an assistant, their comprehension of loyalty to the program, to the head coach, changes. I mean, it's so hard to sit there as the head coach and make these decisions and have everyone be like, well, we should do this and we should do that. So Dana's elite in that. And I think my trust in him, where I bring a lot to him. I sit in his office like, hey, what do you think we should do here? What do we think we should do here? Eck just brings a ton of energy and belief. I think our guys believe so much in what we're about to do special teams wise. And then, I think John, the great thing was he was in the system. So, he knows what we've done, but he has so much knowledge from his time in the National Football League. He had the #1 secondary in Buffalo, I think, for like 5 years. And so his ability now, it's been an adjustment for him probably coming to college. And, you're not just coaching pros now, you're training guys. And so training and teaching guys, he had a chance to do that as a position coach. And now as a coordinator, I think he's done a wonderful job. He's meticulous. He's got some great guys there with him. He's got Phil Snow right there by his side. A guy that people don't talk about enough is Rob Dvorak. Rob's been with us every stop. Rob's going to be a coordinator someday. He's a special coach, but he knows all sort of the history of everything. And so we just have great people, and I'm blessed to down Corey Campbell, Kristen Coggin, the people down Mitch handling sports science. Like there's some days I walk in and Mitch, I don't know what my job is, other than to recruit and go be a part of the players' lives. So the coordinators are going to do a great job. I'm very pleased.
Coach Lynn Harrington with Stay Alive in Power 5. How you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm all right. So I know you're very familiar with Jack Hoffman, who passed earlier this year. And a couple of days ago, you did the Team Jack run with the team. Is there going to be any special dedication for the season to Jack coming up?
I don't want to preempt our people that handle all that. So obviously we've always had a game honoring Team Jack, and I'll let them announce that at their time, kind of how they want to do things. But thank you, though.
One more question in the second row here.
Jacob Worthen, KRUI. Coach Rule, Nebraska achieved bowl eligibility and won the Pinstripe Bowl, but close losses and special teams remain concerns. As you continue rebuilding, what fine-tuning are you emphasizing in tight game execution and confidence building for 2025?
Yeah, I think we lost a lot of those games because we just weren't good enough. I think it's just sometimes a great storyline to say, hey, you know what, close loss here, close loss. I mean, and there's some of it, but our focus has been on just improving as a team. Because they don't all have to be close. Some of those games, why don't we win by 14? I saw a different mindset from our team in the Pinstripe Bowl. We were up and they came back. We had to make a couple plays. Dylan made a play. Ramir Stewart hit a power to win the game on 4th and 2. And what I saw for the first time was not a lot of panic. But that panic comes from when you don't think you control what happens. When you're listening to all the outside narratives and we should be doing this and we should do that. And finally the team grows up. It's what people always ask me about year 3. Finally the team grows up and they're like, well, I got to go make the play and I got to go pick the ball off and I got to go block the punt. And, none of those special teams errors were coached that way. And so we take ownership of it. Don't get me wrong, but it's a much different feeling when you walk in with a bunch of guys that now they know they're good. And some of them, they're the same players. They're just good because they're a year into the system. And that 250-pound guy is now 280-pound guys, the 280-pound guy. So I'm an incrementalist. I believe in just getting a little bit better every year. I got great news. Nothing that happened last year carries over into this year. And that's a good thing, right? The Iowa loss at the end of the year was really, really probably painful, but sometimes it's the pain you need. It's the pain that spurs you forward in the offseason when, guys get a little bit complacent. And there's no complacency at the University of Nebraska right now. Our guys all understand that we've got good enough players. Well, we have an excellent roster. We're fast. We're explosive. We've got veterans where we need to. We're good on the lines. We've got great coaches. But we're going to have to go perform. And that performance comes from guys owning it and not listening to anything else, not listening to the guy in the locker room complaining, shutting all that up and saying, hey, Husker football, it's about performance. It's about us going out there and getting it done. And so that's why I mentioned the classroom. That's why I mentioned the growth of these guys. You see a team that understands that. So I look forward to the first close game. I look forward to seeing our guys execute in it, but it's not something out here. It's about getting young people to be a little bit better each year, recruiting good players, and I think you'll see a good team this year.
Coach Rule, thank you so much for your time.
Go Big Red.
Download our app by searching for 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day wherever you are. More of On the Block next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Chevrolet GMC this month kicks off Koppel's 50th anniversary sale. We're celebrating 50 years by offering an additional $500 discount to the next 100 customers that buy a new vehicle. This is in addition to the huge savings already in place. You can take an extra $500 off our discounted price, or we can cut you a check on the spot. Celebrate with savings and see why customers have trusted Koppel since 1975. It's our way of saying thank you for all these years.
Midwest Bank is now hiring in Lincoln. They have multiple banking positions open and are looking for dynamic individuals passionate about helping others and building relationships. With a family-friendly culture, competitive benefits, and unique perks, Midwest Bank is a great place to start a new career. Apply today at midwest.bank. Midwest Bank is an equal opportunity employer, member FDIC.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. Visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com.
Sartor Heyman Jewelers.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the second season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see a chance of showers and storms, especially this afternoon. Otherwise, partly sunny skies expected with the high around 85. Tonight, a chance of showers and storms, the low around 70. And tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms likely throughout the day. An afternoon high near 81. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
All right, welcome back into On the Block. Hair Starns and the ones and twos. We're not going to replay anything for this segment because it's only 5 minutes there. But what we can do is preview what we got coming up here next. And this one's going to be intriguing. On the next segment here, I believe it's not going to cover the entire segment. I'll hop back on here. Yeah, it's only about 11 minutes. We got Luke Fickell, and I want to play that one a lot because Luke Fickell has got a monster of a schedule coming ahead of him. And I'm not sure everyone is aware of how big of a gauntlet that Wisconsin has. And again, Wisconsin, first time, since I can remember, they didn't go bowling. Obviously, Nebraska, we faced them. There was finally a win for us to get over that hump to go bowling, and then Wisconsin was 5-5. They dropped that one, and they drop everyone after, and then they fail to go to a bowl game. Luke Fickell, he gets an extension nonetheless. I think they understood how tough of a schedule it was, but it was only one more year. Maybe they put a year on there because they're already writing this year off the books. And why I say that, tongue in cheek, is their schedule is a nightmare. We'll go through it here. And 402-464-5685. Does Wisconsin fail to go bowling again this college football season? I want to get your thoughts. And then, of course, we're going to get Luke Fickell, the head coach's thoughts as well on the Wisconsin Badgers. But does Wisconsin go bowling? Well, let's go through the schedule. So we can give them the first two, right? Miami, Ohio, and then Middle Tennessee. Those are your non-con games. You get them both at home. I think everyone feels pretty good. Their third non-con game, though, not so much. A big game for Kalen DeBoer and the Crimson Tide, because you have to beat Wisconsin if you're going to hold on to that relevancy of being an SEC powerhouse, especially when Wisconsin's down and bad. But Wisconsin's got to go on the road. They're on the road facing Alabama week 3 into the season. So I think right there that puts them at 2-1. I don't got a lot of faith, especially with that team's been really struggling with as of late. 2-1. Then you get Maryland at home. I'll give you Maryland. We'll see what the Terps do this year. You had some interesting comments. Loxley talking about how he felt like he lost the team last year, which is something you never want to hear a head coach say. But I mean, hey, if you like honesty, at least he was honest. So I'll give him that one. Okay, but now you're on the road to Michigan. So you got 3 wins. I think Michigan's a loss. So 3-2. Iowa, you get them at home. I think Iowa still has your number. That's another loss. So you're already 3-3, 6 weeks into the season. Ohio State, you get them at home. Now 3-4. You're officially below 500. Oregon on the road. Yikes. 3-5. And then you get Washington at home. Maybe you pick them. We'll be generous. We'll go ahead and give Wisconsin, after going through the gauntlet of Michigan, Iowa, Ohio State, Oregon, we'll go ahead, give them Washington. That gives them 4 wins. And Indiana, I think Kurt Cignetti's legit. I think that's another loss right there. Illinois, I don't care if you get them at home. Illinois, the quietest 10-win team last season. People forget they went 10-3. And then, you had the Cheez It Bowl in the battle between Brett Bielema and Beamer. South Carolina, Illinois, they Big Ten West that game up. As much as South Carolina, who really you felt bad for, like they just needed to catch a break. They had a lot of really brutal losses. In some of those games, I understand why Beamer was so upset in that Cheez It Bowl, because it felt like the whole season was against him. And I rarely say that, but you can go back and look at a lot of those South Carolina games. Man, they were just right there. And in a few instances, it's like the referees were terrible. Like they had, if you look at Nebraska versus Ohio State last year, I think people that are not Nebraska fans would notoriously say, yes, the officiating of that game was horrible. Nebraska wasn't getting any benefit of the doubt. South Carolina had that not once, twice, but you can maybe even argue 3 times last year, where it's like you just couldn't get on the same side of the officials. But nonetheless, so lost to Indiana. I think it's another loss to Illinois. Again, quiet 10-3, and then Minnesota. That's your season. Where are the wins in this? Miami, Ohio, 1. Middle Tennessee, 2. Maryland, I'll give it to you because Loxley mentioned, losing the team last year. 3 wins, and then I think it's loss. We'll give you Washington, and that puts you up to 4. That's it. 4 wins is what I kind of realistically see. If I had to take a swing at it, it's a brutal road for Wisconsin, and it's going to be a hard year to judge for anyone who is going to be trying to watch Wisconsin football and trust the Luke Fickell process, because this year is just not built to do any favors for a team who's already kind of down in the mud. So keep an eye on Wisconsin. I do think Luke Fickell's a head coach, but Wisconsin seems to be going through a little bit of what Nebraska went through. It's like a massive identity shift. And even though Luke Fickell is saying the right things, it does feel like that culture is starting to fade away a little bit. The things that they were great at, not as great anymore. And they got to go through a little bit of a either double down on what they used to be or go out and rebrand what you want to be. Because at Cincinnati, Luke Fickell, what he was known for was elite defense. And Wisconsin still has that, but that offense, it's just not nearly as intimidating as what it used to be. And who knows how much that's through recruiting, NIL, everything else on top of it. But it's It's going to be interesting. All right, we got to throw it to break here. That being said, you guys can always join in 402-464-5685. We got time for it. I'll read off some of those on the opening hour of the next segment. But Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. We'll keep this thing rolling. Luke Fickell, his podium speech coming up next right here, 93.7 The Ticket.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
Keep summer green with Judson Bilene and Judson Irrigation. More than 40 years ago, Judson Irrigation started taking in orphans. Lawn sprinkler systems installed by a quickie, cheapy summer job, install 'em and forget 'em outfit long forgotten. Call Judson Irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Keep summer green. Call Judson Irrigation 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see a chance of showers and storms, especially this afternoon. Otherwise, partly sunny skies expected with the high around 85. Tonight, a chance of showers and storms, the low around 70. And tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms likely throughout the day. An afternoon high near 81. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
This is On the Block with Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman, middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America, on air and online at theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This is On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
All right, welcome back in. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos. I am not Austin, Jay, or Strick, but those guys are out there in Vegas, likely getting everything ready so they can get back here tomorrow, Friday, back to regular programming. And, of course, there's going to be a lot of college football talk and finally tap into everything else in the outside world that hasn't been Big Ten media days. But as I said, we talked a lot about Illinois, and we talked a lot about Wisconsin's schedule, and I want to get Luke Fickell's comments here. Because, like I said, it's a very, very daunting season for Wisconsin, and it's a place that they're not going to be comfortable in simply because they just haven't been there for since I can be alive, quite honestly. Remembering Wisconsin football really struggling the way they did last season and potentially what they could have this upcoming season. So without further ado, as I mentioned, we'll play this one and then maybe another interview after. But nonetheless, here's Luke Fickell, his speech at the podium down there in Las Vegas for Big Ten Media Days.
Good afternoon. Obviously, I would like to start by making sure that I say I'm incredibly appreciative of this opportunity to be able to stand before you today, representing the University of Wisconsin, our football program, and this Big Ten. Obviously, this is with the way I grew up, obviously being a Big Ten guy, and it's humbling to be able to stand before you and represent that, and also understand the responsibility that in which I have representing the University of Wisconsin, the traditions, and all the things in front of me. That's something that is motivating to me on an everyday basis, and I know that for our program as well, it's upholding those traditions is something that's incredibly motivating to all of us. Start by saying a little thank yous, obviously, to Commissioner Tony Petitti, his staff, AJ, and the crew, obviously for all that they do, their leadership, their patience, but in particular their commitment to not only just college football and the Big Ten and keeping us and obviously up front in the forefront of this race. But also in the entire Big Ten of understanding these landscapes and making sure they continue to move us forward. They've done an unbelievable job keeping us abreast to all the things that are continuing to change on a weekly and daily basis. To the media, not just for being here, but for what it is that you do for college football, really the stories, the people. I think that's easy to recognize the game, but the people that are within, you do an unbelievable job of highlighting them and getting the stories out. And I think that's what makes college football the most exciting sport out there. To our AD, I don't know if he's out here, Chris McIntosh, his partnership is and his leadership is really important to me and our program as we continue to move forward. But I think his leadership really leading that whole department in 23 varsity sports in this trying and unique time. I don't think this is anything that a lot of these ADs signed up for and recognized what they were going to be involved with and what it is that they continue to do, not just with college football, but all things college athletics in particular within their universities. Those guys, they do an unbelievable job, and Chris does an unbelievable job for us. And not last but not least, I would be remiss if I didn't say thank you to my wife, Amy. We celebrated 25 years this past few weeks ago. And the rock of our family and all that I have an opportunity to do is because of her. And I've been in this business for 25 years now. And she's been with me from being a GA to first job at the University of Akron, to picking up and moving a family and 6 kids halfway across the country. Obviously, with all of us coaches, it takes some special people behind the scenes to give us an opportunity to do what it is that we do. University of Wisconsin is and will continue to be a traditional football program in every way possible. I know this is a transactional world that we all know about, and we continue to enter, especially since July 1 with this new revenue sharing. But it's really critical and important to me in all that we do and the way that we continue to grow and the things that we got to be able to do, and even in the changes, that we focus upon the traditional things that has made the University of Wisconsin, the football program, great. And we need to continue to build upon those things. And it starts with high school recruiting. I think we recruited 21 high school kids last year. We'll still continue to be the philosophy in our traditional mindset. But really it comes down to a trust and respect from within our program, whether it starts in recruiting and all that we do. It's about relationships. That's not going to change even though we are entering into this transactional world. And it's really about development, the development of 18 to 22-year-olds in all that we do. And I think that's where some of this in this new era in what we're working and continue to work for in the last 3-4 years and moving forward, for me and for us, I know that it's really important for us to make sure that we continue to focus upon the traditional things that has made Wisconsin great and will continue to make Wisconsin great. And that kind of leads me into 3 of those guys to represent us that are here today. We actually have a leadership group of about 14 guys. And to be honest with you, that's where the strength of our program lies. What's going to continue to move us forward, I don't know that is just in the 3 guys that are here, but it's in this group of 14 guys that really the strength of our program and where our leadership is. 3 guys will represent us, or they're here today to represent us, and they've done a phenomenal job. On the defensive side of the ball, we've got graduate Rico Holman, cornerback from Miami, Florida, from University School in Miami. Rico will be a 3-year starter. He's done an unbelievable job. I think going into this year he is as prepared or more prepared than he has been in the last 3. And 2 years ago, he was a 3rd-team All-American with 7 interceptions. And Rico is a big part of, kind of the revamping and some of the things we've done differently defensively for us in our program. The next one is Jake Renfro. Jake is again a graduate. He'll be a returning starter at center. He's Chicago, Illinois, Providence Catholic kid, and he will anchor that offensive line along with Riley Mallman, Joe Brunner, who are 2 other guys that are returning starters, 2-year starters and a 3-year starter. They kind of anchor that offensive line, and wish I could have both of those guys with us here today as well. But those 3 guys are really the core of our offensive line, but not just our offensive line, of our offense and a lot of the leadership of our entire program. And that's a great place to start. And the 3rd guy with us here today is Billy Edwards Jr. Billy is a graduate as well, obviously a quarterback from Lake Braddock High School in Northern Virginia, a son of a high school football coach. He comes to us from the University of Maryland. And in this unique world, I think Billy came to us in January, and I can honestly tell you that since the day he's walked in the door, it's a new era, right? And he was walking the door, taking the keys to a new offense in a lot of ways, and everything within our program is earned. So that's a unique situation, and I can tell you that Billy has walked in, humbled himself, embraced all things Wisconsin, has done an incredible job at earning the role as a leader in all that he's done, from the way he's worked. And then as he's continued to grow and his voice is becoming more and more of a leadership voice in everything that we do, he's done an unbelievable job. And will obviously be the leader of a group that is probably one of the bigger changes that we're experiencing now. That's the leadership group. Those 3 guys will represent that group of 14 guys that really, for me and for us, is what is key for the growth for where we're headed and what it is that we're doing. Last year was not the standard, right? And it's pretty obvious to be able to say. And really, we're talking about the way that we finished last year. That's not the standard. That's not the expectation by any ways. I was not brought here thinking that that's in any way what it is that we expect at the University of Wisconsin. But I'm not here to dwell upon last year either. But what last year does do is it gives us an opportunity to be able to self-reflect. It gives us an opportunity to recognize things that we need to continue to be able to change. And I think that's what was most important as we attacked December and January for us in our program. That's where everything started. It's pretty easy to kind of pinpoint some of the changes that we've made, right? Whether it's offensively, there's some difference defensively, just size and some things that we had to be able to address and do. But what it really came down to in some of the changes that we had to make was we had to get back to what has and what will continue to make Wisconsin an unbelievable place and an incredible football power and give us a chance to play for championships. And a lot of people would say, what is that? Running the football? That's getting back? No, That's a part of things. But what it really comes down to is our ability to get back to what I would say is complementary football. And I don't mean complementary football in a way that everybody would define complementary football on a Saturday afternoon or a Saturday night. It's much deeper than that. When we talk about complementary football for our team and our program, it's something at the core of what it is that we have to be able to do. It's something that as a team and as a program has to be something that we live on a daily basis. And we kind of define, and we will continue to define, what complementary football looks like to us at Wisconsin. And it's really more than 3 phases. It's 4 phases. It's offense, defense, special teams, and a culture to the way in which we do things. And our ability to embody that as a program, and I don't just mean that on Saturdays, I mean that as in everything that we do, and recognize and understand how each and every one of us feeds off of one another and the things that we have to do in order to be successful, the sacrifices we need to make for the good of the whole, is more important than just to sit here and talk about what we've changed offensively or the things we've changed defensively or what your expectations are. It becomes back to a process that started in December, has gone through January, and has been a big part of some of and a lot of, the changes, whether it's faces or people within our program. And so I can honestly sit here and tell you that we're really excited. 6 days from now, we begin camp, and we begin this 131-day journey. That's 131 days from the time we start camp to the end of the regular season, to put to the test of the things that we've implemented, from the leadership ideas to what complementary football looks like, and what's going to give us the greatest opportunity to get back into a place where Wisconsin's playing for championships. And so that's the exciting time for us. And at this point in time, I'll open it up for some questions.
We'll do one question for Coach.
All right, so there is his opening statements out there at the podium. And again, that was head coach Luke Fickell of the Wisconsin Badgers. And right there, the biggest thing for Wisconsin, you kind of heard him talk about it, trying to get back to just that championship mindset, feeling like they can actually do it. They're got 9 guys coming back. Quarterback, they're going to have Billy Edwards Jr., who out of the portal, they seem to really like him a lot. Spring game had some buzz around him. He seemed to perform pretty well. Make what you will of spring games. It's not always the best resume, NFL or college. Like, you go look at the NFL, dude, Caleb Williams, on the Chicago Bears, phenomenal preseason, okay regular season. But again, you're working on very basic defenses when you get into that stuff. But that's kind of the hope right there, is that they think he can be the guy to hopefully lead to a much more consistent offense. The defense, if you look at Nebraska playing them, the defense looked really bad throughout the course of the year, though. The Wisconsin Badgers defense certainly wasn't as good as it has been, but it wasn't atrocious. The offense has really held them back, and that's going to be the challenge. Can Billy Edwards be the guy for the Wisconsin Badgers? If so, probably not this year. Again, we went through that schedule. It is just a brutal gauntlet, having Alabama. I understand it's not the Nick Saban Crimson Tide, but the DeBoer Crimson Tide. I mean, it's still an intimidating one, to say the very least. We'll see what DeBoer does down the road, but he's still got so much talent in that building, and he's still got that culture, and you look at DeBoer, he's been successful everywhere he's been at. These are just massive shoes to fill with Saban. So you drop, I think it was 4 games last year. I mean, that's just kind of panic mode because you're used to winning as much as you are. But that's Alabama, and Wisconsin's got those guys week 3. They also got Iowa. They also got Illinois. They got Indiana. They got Oregon, and they got Ohio State. That is probably the toughest schedule by far in the Big Ten, and can probably argue being up there for the toughest schedule in all of college football this year. Obviously, we got to wait for week 1. We're going to have to see how things pan out. If a lot of those preseason rankings hold up being true, Penn State, people are obviously super high on them. Some people even got them all the way at number 1, despite Ohio State winning last year and despite Oregon going undefeated. People like Penn State and the amount of continuity they have coming back. Speaking of continuity coming back, the next coach that I want to play for you guys, we might not be able to get through the whole thing here, is Brett Bielema. We talked about it with Illinois. They got a lot of guys coming back. Let me double check here. The starters coming back. So returning production, 16. They got to find 2 more guys on offense and 4 more guys on defense, and they're all set. They get back to a ton of returning talent. And again, one of those guys being Luke Altmaier. You feel great when you're in a position to have your main guy, dual threat quarterback, Luke Altmaier, who saying that he's the best dual threat quarterback in the Big Ten might be a reach, but he's certainly in the conversation. What he did last year, it was phenomenal. I never take the game manager, he's just managing games, he's not asked to do a lot as a insult. That's exactly what you should do. That's what JJ McCarthy did at Michigan. Everyone's like, well, a lot of the draft talk and how he, on some people's boards, was really slipping, was one of the later quarterbacks drafted, was he didn't have a ton of crazy tape out there in Michigan. But if you don't need to take a ton of risk, why would you? And that's where I always just have a ton of respect for what Luke Altmaier in Illinois does. There's no reason to get out over your skis when you can just simply run the ball and take advantage of what you consider to be a weak defensive line. And that's what Illinois did a lot. Luke Altmaier, use your legs when you can. We're not going to throw the ball a ton super hard down the field because we feel good about what we can do up front. And if we don't get it on this drive, our defense is phenomenal. We can pin them back deep and play a little bit of Iowa Hawkeye ball and just play field position. And that's what that South Carolina game was, again, all the way back to go full circle here in that Cheez-It Bowl. It was Beamer and the South Carolina Gamecocks being frustrated with how slow that game was moving. And it took a while to get the first 7 points on the board for either side. And I think it might have even been South Carolina who struck first. But nonetheless, it wasn't a high-scoring game. Really dragged it out. But again, you're just managing the game. You don't need to get in a shootout with South Carolina and Sellers at QB when you can play your brand of football, which is Big Ten, old school Big Ten West football. Just muddy it up, make it tight, field position, and let's play behind our offensive line. So they have a pretty good schedule, I think, coming up this year. We'll quick get to Brett Bielema's podium speech. So we'll play that. If we have some more time, we'll talk about it. If not, we'll talk about it more on segment 2 in that Illinois Fighting Illini schedule. So here is Brett Bielema at the podium, Big Ten Media Days in Las Vegas.
Luke Altmaier and Gabe Akis. Coach Bielema, welcome. We'll begin with your opening statement.
Thank you, Topic. Welcome, everybody. What a great time to be in Vegas. What a great time to be in college football. What an awesome time to be in the Big Ten Conference, and especially at the University of Illinois. Just very exciting time. Good to see a lot of familiar faces. One of the things is you go into your 17th year as a head coach, you develop a lot of relationships in every avenue of life, obviously with administrators, people within your school system, but a lot of you as well as media. I told my players I bring them in as we prep for these media days, and every year I tell them the story that in 1992 I was a representative at the University of Iowa. I was myself and another captain, a guy by the name of Mike Devlin, who's the offensive line coach for the Chargers, been in the NFL for a long time. We drove over the media days. I'm sure a lot of you used to remember. I used to be in Chicago, and literally the first guy that I met in the hotel lobby was Kirk Herbstreit. He was a starting quarterback at Ohio State. And I think about just that weekend and the people that I met, and the people now that have been a part of my life since that weekend to where we are today. I brought 3 great players with us: Luke Altmaier, our quarterback, J.C. Davis, our left tackle, and Xavier Scott, a corner. Those 3 guys all have unique journeys to get to where they are today. But I wanted to share with them, hey, the opportunity you're going to get here today at Big Ten Media Day is something you've earned. It's very rare, very special. Only 3 players of every school get to do the same thing. They don't bring just guys on the team. They bring their best players that represent the University of Illinois in the best way. And super excited for you to get to know them. Kind of a unique story, kind of the way college football is today. You just asked a question about the conference-wide pay system. I think about 1992, my first question, I walked into the meeting room and Hayden Fry said, hey, don't worry, nobody ever asked the players any questions. Guess who got the first question? Me. And I think about that to this day because as a player, I actually was a walk-on that earned a scholarship, and think about that phone call when I called my parents to tell them I gained the scholarship, and they were crying on the other line, and I thought they were just happy, but I also realized, that scholarship made a big payment difference in that household that I was raised in, and to now have a system where starting in July, we actually paid our players through PayPal. Holy shit, the world has changed, right? Like it's just a different world. Absolutely awesome. So awesome to see our players. We were actually able to bring out in the back, I have my wife back there, but also bring friends of the family with our football program, a few donors that have been huge the last several years since I've come to Illinois, way before that with different buildings around campus and fundraising. But Last night was pretty awesome. We went to Piero's little Italian joint here, and we were able to have a couple of our parents of our players join us, and to hear from those parents to speak to what their son has accomplished since he came to Illinois really has nothing to do with the football side, just who they've become as young men. That's something that I think is just makes what college football is today so awesome. So super excited about this. Our football team is one that has gained a lot of headlines. Just by the way, we finished a year ago with 10 wins. Have a number of players, whether it's 16, 17, 18, however you want to cut it, of our 22 starters coming back. Have a kicker that is very accomplished, David Alano. We were able to acquire a punter from Purdue, who I think is one of the best players in the country at his position. Have acquired some other players through the transfer portal, continue to be one of the leading schools in the country. We signed 21 high school players, which is a really high number compared to a lot of other people. Have 20 committed to this next class already. So we still are the foundation of a high school development college football program, but we do acquire players. 2 of our 3 this year that are here with us today, Luke and JC, were both transfers. So to combine that with what we've recruited and to be where we are today, super excited for that number. In addition to that, I think everybody always focuses on the players, and as a head coach, we get a lot of attention, but the true work gets done by our coaches, our 10 assistant coaches, and our support staff, my strength and conditioning staff, my medical staff, our training staff, our nutritional staff. We got Brett Moore here with media, Pat Pearson, the creative department heads in our building. Just the amount of volume of work that goes into building a football program, and more than anything, Josh Whitman, our athletic director here, I walk a daily walk with him on this journey at Illinois football. He not only obviously played at Illinois, played very, very well, played 4 years, 2-time academic All-American, which is absolutely unbelievable. Played in the NFL for a number of years, went out and practiced law, came back, and is now, in my opinion, the best athletic director in college football, in college athletics. So just so many things to be excited about. Vegas also holds a special place in my heart. My wife and I met here in 2008 at the Wynn Casino. We don't need any more story to that than that, except for it happened. We went back yesterday and reenacted the moment for a little bit, and was able to have that. But also, I would say this, I grew up, like I said, coming to the media day in Chicago. We transitioned to Indianapolis, and to come to Vegas. When I sat down with our players to go through the events, they were so excited to be here in Vegas. And I think it's just another great indicator of college football and how much it's evolved. I heard a question earlier from a gentleman here in the front row about his view on what he thinks the playoff should be. Obviously, Tony answered the question. The SEC answered the question. The ACC answered the question. The Big 12 answered the question. The great thing is the question is very relevant. And it's awesome because the college football has never been where it's at. As a head coach, I'm in charge of our football program and what we do. And all I do is sit back every day and try not to go back. I only want to go forward. Through 17 years, I've learned to don't worry about things you can't control. Leave it to those who can. And usually the best results will happen. We can always argue about the way it can happen, but it couldn't be more exciting. 12-team format. I hope it does go to 16. I'm not going to go Eli Drinkwitz 30 or whatever he came up with, but I think a bigger number is a better number to have a play-in game. I appreciate your point that, you thought the 4 teams should just, get in and go. But if there are 7, 8, 9, 10 teams alive in November that can have a chance to be in the playoffs, that's going to do a world of good for our college football team. So a lot of different things working. I'm super excited and couldn't be more thankful for the opportunity, Tony Petiti, to get up here. I want to make sure I came in and hear a talk. I would say this, I've been very fortunate. Obviously, Jim Delaney was the commissioner when I took over. I went down and Mike Slive was the commissioner in the SEC, transitioned to Greg. I was actually the head coach at Arkansas, and I reached out to Greg and other people involved and said, hey, what can we do as coaches in the SEC to make sure Greg gets a job? Because I'd been around him for a couple of years and thought he was extremely bright, intelligent, and loved the SEC, and that's exactly what he's done. And now to join the league with Tony, and I would tell you this, and every year that I've been a head coach, he keeps us more informed as coaches of any other commissioner I've ever been involved with. We have personal contact with him on a monthly, sometimes twice a month basis, has meetings with us several times throughout the course of the year where it's not him and his staff, it's him running the meeting with us individually. And it's just the connection with him. I think a lot of these other conferences, one of the things that happens is the coaches don't find out something until it's brought to their attention at an event, and then they have a quick reaction. They haven't thought it through. So I give Tony and his staff just an unbelievable credit for keeping us in the loop and making it all go forward. So with that, I got a couple minutes, open up for some easy questions.
All right, so welcome back in. Harrison Arns back here on the ones and twos. That was Brett Bielema, head coach of the Fighting Illini over at Illinois. And again, I mentioned it before, sneaky good season last year. To end the year 10-3, I don't think anybody was really expecting such a big jump from those guys when it feels like it's been inconsistent. And ironically, that's been one of the teams that Nebraska football through its worst years really struggling. That was one of the few teams that they could actually battle with, and the series was going back and forth. But Illinois, same timeline except of Husker football. They took a jump, same time we did, just a much, much bigger jump. And we'll talk about their schedule as well next season, because I think Illinois could once again maybe even be good enough to do what Indiana did last year. And that's not even fair to say, because that would be acting like Illinois wasn't good last year. But I think they could be another team from the Big Ten that has an opportunity to sneak into the college football playoffs, especially if it's 12. If they get to 14, most likely 16 seems to be the one that everyone really wants to do. As far as the SEC goes, Big Ten doesn't want to budge until the SEC gets 9 conference games. That's going to be I don't want to say a scandal, but that's going to be an argument between both of those conferences. And realistically, they could just stick to 12 if they don't ever agree. But I do think they want to get to 16. But even if it's, just the 12-team playoff format, Illinois, we'll go through their schedule, definitely has a shot to sneak in there. So that being said, we'll throw it to break. We'll go through Illinois' schedule on the other side, and we'll maybe play some few audio clips as well if we got time for it. Harrison Arns taking over while the guys are out there in Vegas. Don't go anywhere. We got more Ticket coming your way in just a little bit.
Download our app by searching for 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day wherever you are. More of On the Block next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this summer at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's specials through July 29th are 15% off cheese and crackers, grass-fed, grass-finished tri-tips for $10.99, 820 ground beef trays for $6.99, and brisket flats for $9.99. Plus, stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursdays at the Mercado East or Fired Up Fridays at the Mercado North. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney and Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce is complicated. It affects every part of your life, your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce and the unexpected directions that it can take, it's times like this that you need a partner you can count on.
If you're a man facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today to connect with a local divorce attorney who understands the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Text GO99 to 323232. GO99 to 323232. GO99 to 323232. 1221 N Street, Lincoln. Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply, stop to opt out.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Take control of your health with the DASH scan at Advanced Medical Imaging. The DASH scan is a full-body MRI designed for advanced health screening. This dynamic approach provides exceptionally sharp images across multiple organ systems, helping to detect potential concerns early. With minimal radiation and no invasive procedures, the DASH scan offers a safe, comprehensive look at your health. Plus, results are delivered faster than ever, giving both patients and physicians confidence in screening and diagnosis. Your health is too important to wait. Schedule your DASH scan today at Advanced Medical Imaging. Visit amimaging.com or call 402-484-6677 to learn more.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza, the big one, all the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
The 2026 Love Omaha volleyball season is coming, and memberships are on sale now. Catch your favorite stars, Lexi Rodriguez, Jordan Larson, and more with a guaranteed 8 home matches right here in Nebraska. Season memberships start at just $112. That's unbeatable value for world-class volleyball. Don't miss a moment of the action. Go to lovb.com/season and grab yours today. That's lovb.com/season.
Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
All right, welcome back in. Harrison Arns on the ones and twos, going solo with some help of the replays of Big Ten Media Days. While the guys are out there in Vegas, probably getting a well-earned rest, if not still working, getting ready to get everything back so they can get loaded up, be back here for Friday shows, because we are back to our regular programming again come Friday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then, of course, take weeknights as well. If Austin, I do believe he will have his 6 to 7 show as planned as well. But that being said, we did mention it. You guys can join in through the Sergeant Haven text line, 402-464-5685. We're going to talk more Illinois schedule. Before we get there, let's get to some of these from the text line. John and Cortland, appreciate the kind words as always. Thunder Not Collins. Yeah, talking about those Alexa commercials. Apologies to everyone for setting your Alexas off. Cubsker talking about going all the way back, I believe, looking at Wisconsin's schedule and how brutal it is. Maybe talking, I could see 5 wins, especially if Bryce Underwood underperforms for Michigan. And that is going to be interesting. We saw it with Dylan Raiola last year at Nebraska. Is great as a highly touted 5-star that he was. I mean, it's a jump. No matter what you're going to do, it's a big jump and to get settled in. And he was, more confident early in the season. It felt like teams in the Big Ten were starting to get a little bit more tape and got similar to kind of what Adrian Martinez went through that sophomore year, where the teams really struggled, that Adrian was struggling to throw against zones and really just kind of floated into that opening pocket. I think Dylan Raiola was able to get over that by the end of the season, but Underwood might have some of those same issues. Like, as great as you are, how are you going to look when you're playing Ohio State? How are you going to look when you're playing some of these really good opponents? And then even for, the lesser opponents, UCLA might have been one of Dylan Rayl's worst games. And it took him a little while to get that confidence back. Crowbait, shout out, listening on the road to Missouri. Appreciate you as well. And yeah, appreciate everybody listening out there. It's been a long week, and hopefully everyone's getting their blood rising here for Husker football, because it's going to be phenomenal. I believe the countdown for Husker football is like 35, maybe even 34 days away. Obviously, neutral site game. You could scribble on home game for Nebraska out there in Arrowhead, Kansas City. It's right around the corner. I mean, I'm a romantic when it comes to college football. So as much as I don't like the new era and the conference realignment and the college football playoffs expanding, I'm still going to turn on Saturday. It's still such a good product that, I can be a romantic about the traditions of college football, but it's getting to that time of year where Lincoln's about a triple in size on Saturdays. With that being said, let's go through Illinois' schedule real quickly before we get into anything too much else. And why I'm talking about Illinois and just like keep your eye on Brett Bielema and crew is they got pretty much everyone coming back on offense. Like I said, they got to replace 2 guys on offense, and one of them is not their quarterback. Luke Altmaier will be back there, and then 4 guys on their defense. So you got a lot of continuity there. And continuity in the world of college football today seems to be like a rare gem to find. If you can really convince guys, especially not to throw shade at Illinois, but I don't know what their NIL payroll looks like. So to hold on to those guys, you tip your cap. They're buying into the culture, as well as maybe some money helps, but I don't think they're out there competing with the big dogs in terms of throwing money around. So 10-3 last year. This upcoming season, they got Western Illinois to open it up. That's a win. They got Duke. I think that's another win right there. Double check here. I think that's Western Michigan Broncos. I think that's another win for them. So right there, you would hope so. Your non-con games, you want to be 3-0. Real test early. They're on the road, Memorial Stadium, not our Memorial Stadium. They have Indiana. That's going to be a big game for both of those teams. Indiana came out of nowhere last year. A lot of those James Madison guys following Curt Cignetti to go play for Indiana, and they caught everyone by storm. And we can't even use the excuse was just shock value, because I think by the time Nebraska and Indiana were playing, everybody was like, okay, we need to pay attention to Indiana. And we did, just not well enough. They absolutely, the Curtis Rourke, the Maple Rifle, as I believe they dubbed him. He won't be back with them, but he just absolutely shredded our defense part. And I'm willing to bet that's more Curt Cignetti than it is him just getting lucky. He wins everywhere. At the same time, this Illinois team is loaded to the teeth in terms of returning players, continuity, and I think that culture is really starting to fit. And I think Luke Altmaier has an opportunity to be maybe not the most talented quarterback, but one of the most consistent QBs in all of the Big Ten. So I'm going to go ahead and give it to Illinois, but that is a easy toss-up. You could sell me Indiana if you wanted to. USC, they get them at home. I'm actually going to give that one to Illinois. Then they're on the road to Purdue. That's another win. So at this point, you're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-0. Then you have to play Ohio State. You get them at home. I think that's their first loss. Then they get Washington. I think they beat Washington. Rutgers, I think they beat Rutgers. Maryland, I think they beat Maryland. Wisconsin, we just talked about Wisconsin and how those guys are really struggling. I think they beat Wisconsin. And then they got Northwestern to end the season. That is not a tough schedule. And you just won 10 games last year. So even if you want to say, okay, they lose to Indiana, they lose to USC, they lose to Ohio State, those are the 3 most realistic, like you can see it from far away losses, 3 losses. And if they swing one of those games, that's an incredible season. So Illinois could just be right on track of where they were last year. And again, I think they can really start flirting if they can continue, especially early on, take down Indiana. That's going to bode well for them in the rankings. And then you get USC. So their schedule really hinging on early. How do you handle Indiana? How do you handle USC? And again, you're on the road playing Indiana, and you're at home with USC. I'd much rather be playing on the road, Indiana, and then taking USC at home. I know it's California. It's kind of nice weather out there, but that's a long road trip. So to get that one at home, that's a big deal. Going to Indiana, that's not going to wear your guys out through travel by any means. So I like it. I like this team a lot. I always say it, I'm not a betting man, but if I were, I'd keep a close eye on some Illinois futures, because that team is loaded. And I always go back to continuity, which just feels like such a lost gem in college football, for how easy it is for guys to transfer. And it's not always their fault. I'm not saying these guys shouldn't ever transfer. But as a head coach, it's a difficult thing to keep that thing entirely intact, or at least keep your main guys intact. And they've pretty much done that. They're set up phenomenally. So I'll stop saying it. I'll say it for the final time. Keep an eye on the Fighting Illini as they have an opportunity to have another really good season. And you put two of those seasons like that together, recruiting gets a lot easier. And there starts to become a lot of trust. That culture starts to sit, and it's not pendant on the players you get. It's just built within the university. The thing that Nebraska lost was that our culture, it was just completely lost within the university, or at least it felt like that. And I think the proof is in the pudding. When you're losing that many games and you struggle to go bowling, you lost your identity there. And that's why I want to bring up Wisconsin. I think Wisconsin's were in that situation where they don't really know what they want to be. Loss of culture. We'll talk about one more team, and we'll have to play his comments on the other side of this break. The Nittany Lions. James Franklin has a massive opportunity this year. And me and Tristan talked about it a little yesterday. Early on, they're going to be tested. And this is another year where I think they have a good amount of continuity coming back as well. Yeah, 14 guys coming back. 9 on offense and 5 on defense. At least if you're Penn State, your bread and butter has been the defense. You guys always seem to find a way to just plug in elite level talent on that defense. Even time you lose an NFL talent, you just find a new one immediately. That's been their bread and butter. 9 guys coming back on offense. Oh, that's a big deal. That offense struggled last year. I know Warren's not going to be back with them. Drew Aller is going to have a lot to prove. I think he's got the height, he's got the frame, he's got the arm. It's just consistency. And we saw a little bit of that in the college football playoffs. Like even games versus like SMU, the defense was doing a lot of the heavy lifting until they could put some drives together. So that offense, if it wants to truly be the number one team in the country, they got to have some offense to flash to prove that they go play in Ohio State. If they go play in Oregon, they can keep up. And they don't just have to rely on their defense bailing them out over and over. If Drew Aller can make that step, they have a great opportunity to hold on to being the legit number one team in the country. However, I want to buy the Nittany Lions. I just got to see it. They're in the same mode of what Husker football's been. Like I can hear a million great things about this team. They got to prove it. It's like in that mindset. They get Ohio State, they get Michigan. They just kind of seem to fold in really big moments where they get them in Happy Valley or they got to go play in the shoe. And this year they got to play Ohio State in the shoe. I believe that's pretty early on. So they're going to have a huge opportunity to move this program forward, or they're going to have a huge opportunity to have everyone say, we always knew this. You guys did it again. You guys do this every year where you're one of the best teams, but you're not the best team. So a lot on the line for James Franklin and the Nittany Lions. You guys are always welcome to join in. 402-464-5685. We'll get some of his comments on the other side. Crowbait, real quick, we'll answer this. What's worse, conference realignment or NIL? Conference realignment for me. NIL's got to happen. We can't have these players bringing in. I mean, it's $1 billion industry. And this is why NIL's, whatever you think about the players, like we're raking in billions of dollars. And to just act like you don't owe anything to the athletes because you paid for their scholarship, to me, that's a reach, because damn well you're raking in much, much more than what that scholarship you gave out was. So okay, the conference realignment gets a little insane to me. Again, I always go back. Is it fun for football? Sure. But say you're UCLA fencing and you got to go all the way out to Rutgers to compete against their fencing team. There's certain areas where the money, it doesn't make sense for that long of travels. And it's around football. Football's like the big needle on moving everything around here. So it's kind of unfortunate for other programs that aren't football, because conference realignment is going to come down to football for a lot of them. So with that being said, I got to go to break, going a little bit over here. We got time for it. We'll play James Franklin. If not, I'll have to cut it short. We'll finish the rest of that on hour 5. And I might have Tristan join me as well. So don't go anywhere. This is On the Block. I am not Austin, Jay, or Strickland, as I said many times, out there in Vegas. Just running it solo here on the ones and twos. We'll keep you guys company. Don't go anywhere. Be back in a little bit.
Follow Austin Strick and On the Block on Twitter at Austin Orman, eStrick20, and On the Block 93.7. More of On the Block coming up.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
The 2026 Love Omaha volleyball season is coming, and memberships are on sale now. Catch your favorite stars, Lexi Rodriguez, Jordan Larson, and more with a guaranteed 8 home matches right here in Nebraska. Season memberships start at just $112. That's unbeatable value for world-class volleyball. Don't miss a moment of the action. Go to lovb.com/season and grab yours today. That's lovb.com/season.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see a chance of showers and storms, especially this afternoon. Otherwise, partly sunny skies expected with the high around 85. Tonight, a chance of showers and storms, the low around 70. Tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms likely throughout the day. An afternoon high near 81. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Attention all Wings fans. Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O, or in Williamsburg Village.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with the child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce is complicated. It affects every part of your life, your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce and the unexpected directions that it can take, it's times like this that you need a partner you can count on.
If you're a man facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today to connect with a local divorce attorney who understands the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Text GO99 to 323232. GO99 to 323232. GO99 to 323232. 1221 N Street, Lincoln. Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply, stop to opt out.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Load up on meat and more this summer at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's specials through July 29th are 15% off cheese and crackers, grass-fed, grass-finished tri-tips for $10.99, 820 ground beef trays for $6.99, and brisket flats for $9.99. Plus, stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursdays at the Mercado East or Fired Up Fridays at the Mercado North. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney and Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work?
Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
On the block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
Yeah, I don't want to hate on Joe Burrow. He's clearly in this tier. I think he's the bottom of this tier. I would go Allen Jackson and then Burrow.
You should be a politician.
You know what I'm saying? You see what he doing?
Yeah, he didn't have
He's doing it all the time. It's tricky, man.
Keep going, Jay.
No,
You're speaking my language.
Stop.
You're speaking my language. Come on.
You didn't let him get you, Jay. I can't believe you let him get you again. God,
Every weekday from 3 to 5 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Now back to On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
All right, welcome back in. Harrison Arns taking over for On the Block and then also for Old School in the next hour. As I keep saying it, but to give everybody a reminder, why my voice is on the air is the guys are out there in Vegas, obviously getting ready for the journey back so we can get back to our normal programming tomorrow morning, 6 a.m., 6 p.m. As always, appreciate you guys tuning in. We'll go through some of the comments here quick. So this one first from Big Bird says, is Franklin the Bo Pelini of Penn State? Maybe. You can definitely make that comparison. The difference is if you're Penn State, when you fire Franklin, if you decide to go that far, are you going to bring in a guy who's 500 overall as a head coach? And I don't mean to throw shade at Mike Riley. I think Mike Riley was a good guy. I thought, what he was doing there at Oklahoma State was fine. Or excuse me, not Oklahoma State, Oregon State was fine, but not as tough as the conference. You had some years where you won 9 games. You also had a lot of years where you won 3 games, 4 games, 5 games. So, you get rid of Bo Pelini. It's a crazy zag to go for Mike Riley. And even me as a young lad, who didn't really understand a whole lot about football, was scratching my head. Like, I don't really know. Maybe I'm just not seeing it. No, I think we all saw it right away. It's like, this is a unique jump. If we're just doing this to get an opposite personality, that seems like a horrible move. And it panned out to be pretty terrible. He was undefeated a little bit. Taking those players from Bo Pelini era, they were, I think, 7-0 ranked, and then we saw it happen really fast. The wheels completely fell off the wagon. So, is it a good analogy? I mean, you can make that analogy for sure. The difference would be, though, what does Penn State do after? If they do get rid of Franklin, are they going to take a crazy move and get a coach whose overall coaching record is even worse than the guy they just fired and kicked out of the building? That would be that's how I'd make sense of it. Like, if you're going to do it, you have to make sure it's a slant. Like Nick Saban would want to come back and coach college football again. Then you can do it. Then you can get rid of Franklin and be like, well, we got Nick Saban on the line. That seems like an awesome fit. There's only so many coaches out there that I'd feel comfortable doing that with. Like, it's frustrating, but again, you get rid of James Franklin. Like, you're putting your program, who maybe it's disappointing that they haven't won the big ones, but what does that place look like when you're not even winning, the somewhat mid-major ones, the games that are what Nebraska's gone through? Like, we're in a unique place where we sell out that stadium no matter what. Happy Valley's got a very loyal fan base, but you just don't want to test your fan base like that. Is 9 wins disappointing at times? 10, of course it is, but they're going to keep showing up every year because they know there's at least a chance. And what we did is, like, we just completely took the chance out of it, and hopefully we're back to having a legit chance with year 3 with Matt Rule. Crowbait, he asked before, what's worse, NIL or conference realignment? He says unanimous here in the truck. NIL is okay, but needs to be capped. I don't want to cap NIL, right? Because if you can have the skills to make as much money as you can based off of NIL, go for it. Like, I think that's your right. Like, if you can make money marketing yourself, I don't know why you should be penalized for it. What I will say, though, is that's what the College Sports Commission is for. College Sports Commission is for, like, you can't just get a $1 million NIL deal to represent the lemonade stand that only makes $100 at the end of the month. But the owner of that lemonade stand is a millionaire. So he just, like, made a BS NIL deal to go to this athlete to pay him $1 million, even though that makes no absolute sense in the business world, that there's no real value in that for the company. stuff like that, College Sports Commission, that gets flagged. Anything over $600, they're going to look at it. So it helps making sure that there isn't just nonsense money going around, but you always go back to the bag man. I hate to sound like a broken record, but I mean, that's just the history of sports. Before NIL was legal, what was happening? Were players getting paid? Yes. How much? Not probably as much as it is right now, but I think people were getting paid under the table. You'd have to take a pretty big leap of faith to say, no, that's not true at all. No, and how could the College Football League ever have coaches, doing that stuff? Even if it's not the coaches, like guys were finding ways to go to certain universities, which felt like money. And we have some cases that, players got penalized for it. Sometimes even as stupid as like a tattoo, but it was happening. And then when NIL became illegal, it was just like everyone who was hiding in the shadows got to come out on top and just be super vocal and loop into all these third-party collectives and really just flooding the thing with money. And now we have the College Sports Commission, which is putting those guys back in check. Like, okay, if we're going to do this, there has to be some sort of process. Now the fear is like, what stops that from the bagman just doing what he always used to do? Like, here's the money under the table. We just won't even take this to the College Sports Commission. So like that stuff's always going to happen. That's always going to be a problem. Unfortunately, not everyone's 100% honest all the time. So I think NIL, like you can't really cap it. What you can do is you can cap certain elements, but in a certain NIL aspects, I think you kind of have to let the players go make the money that they can make, as long as it makes sense. And that's where the College Sports Commission has to have some integrity, which so far I think they have been. I mean, they put out a memorandum reminding everyone who is doing NIL deals, like, hey, here are the rules. Here's a memorandum. We have tons of applicants that you guys just ghosted us because we were like, hey, we want more information and you're not giving it. So that's fishy on your end. Why you wouldn't just give me the rest of the details? Probably because you knew right off the bat, this is going to be a tough one to get a deal out of. And I think they've done a good job with it. If they can hold on to that integrity, I think that's a really good start to flag a lot of that stuff, to keep the craziness from getting out of control. It's going to be a bumpy ride, though. I say all that with a grain of salt. Like, I do think it's going to take a while for all this to get ironed out, especially when you got the Big Ten, SEC battling about like stuff like the college football playoffs. Like, again, you go back to it has so many dollars attached to this business. And I know a lot of people, money corrupts everything. Money corrupts everything. It also allows us to have high definition games on TV. So there's a give and take to all of this, but what you can do to bring just the integrity of these deals back is what this whole summer's been. And I say it ironic all the time. It's unfortunate I didn't pass a bar exam to talk about half the stuff that's happened over the summer, because a lot of it's just been court cases, legal, appeals going out. But that's just the state we're in. I think it's going to be bumpy for a bit while longer. With that being said, we do got to throw it the break. I'm going over on the clock here. But this has been On the Block. So different. It's been me on the air. We've been playing a lot of the speeches from the podium, Big Ten Media Days. We'll have another hour of old school, so don't go anywhere. I'll still be here. Might bring Tristan on air as well, and we'll keep talking college football. 402-464-5685. You guys are always invited to join in. Don't go anywhere. More on the ticket up next.